And I'm going to change to my desktop. And I'm going to pin myself. No, I'm going to not pin myself. I'm going to spotlight myself. Am I larger than life on everyone's screens?
Looks good.
Okay, good. I'm going to just, on my other monitor, I'm going to put all of your faces so I can see all of you. And that's good. All of you who choose to be seen. All right, so you have a piece of paper. It's rectangular. It could be a page from a magazine. It could be whatever. And if you fold it this way, the reason that we start out with this is it warms up your hands. And it kind of helps you focus a little bit. And it comes in incredibly useful. This little box for folding scraps. So if you fold both sides along that center line you just made, and then open it all up again. And then fold it in half the other way. And open that up, and another covered fold, fold both sides to the center. Right, then you can all see this little crease right here on your paper. You're going to take the bottom part next to that crease and fold it along the crease. And you're going to repeat that on all four corners. It won't fold all the way up to the half mark. Does anyone need more time? You're going to reach in the middle and fold that back to the top of those triangles and do the same thing on the other side. And if you ever need a small box like this and you've forgotten how to make it, it's on my YouTube channel. So all you do is pull apart from the center and then pinch the corners. And you'll have a box that really will come in handy. And Kathy made hers more permanent. I think, Kathy, I'm going to just pin you for a minute. Could you show us yours again?
I took a napkin that I had with all the butterflies on it, and with diluted glue, glued, I just lost the word. Anyway, paper on the inside, and then folded it. And it was a little stiff and cracked, so then I put a little border around it. But now I have this nice little box that I use for scraps all the time that sits out.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, I'd like you all to introduce yourself, and I'd like you to tell us maybe where you're from and what made you interested in taking this class. What kind of other things do you do? But let's do that right after the break that we take. Okay, we're going to take a break later. All right, so you all should have gotten paper, and you all should have gotten board and some book cloth. I'm going to show you a variation on this box. I think the charm of this box, it's a pretty simple box, is the way the latch closes. But this is the same box, and the only thing different is I just put that on the top. I'd like to use this to show you how this all goes together. We take these packs from the outside, and we put them all on book cloth and close them up, and then you cover this with paper as well. You make the box and plop that in the middle, and then we glue these two sides on and then put it together like that. So this is a simpler version, but I think very useful and attractive too. But I like this one a lot better. Okay, so in your packet you got a little piece. It is the buckle. You put that off to the side. You got 4 little things that I thought briefly that we could use for feet, but that is totally up to you. You could color them, gild them, just leave them as they are or whatever, and just glue them to the bottom. But I thought they were cute little feet. So they were just sent as a possibility, not something that we're necessarily going to do today. Okay, there are 2 other groups of board. One is the box and one is the panels. So we're going to work with the box first. And it finally gave me a use for all of that washi tape I've acquired.
So Nancy, Aaron, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Mhm.
So my washi tape didn't stay together, so all my pieces were scattered. They
That's
didn't come in nice little packs like that. So you just need to reiterate what pieces.
okay. If you look on the first page of the handout, the box is a base which is 4 by 5.5.
I have a quick question about how the grain is going on the board.
Because it's such a small size, the grain for this part is irrelevant. It's not
Okay.
going to warp, and we're going to cover both sides very quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm. The long sides are 2 inches by 5.5. And the short sides are 2 inches by 4 that we're going to cut to size as we make the box. Does that help, Aaron?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, good. So you might want to get out your PVA and a brush. And we're going to start with a long side in the base of the box. Please let me know if I start, working down here and then talking as though you can see me. It has happened. The first thing we're going to do is glue this piece, the long side, and we put it on top of the box. If you've ever looked at like Cindy and Tom Hollander's book, they do it differently. They put their pieces of their boxes on the side, but I place them on top. And we both have very good reasons, and neither one of us is convinced by the other one. But yeah, their way is best. Okay, so just a bit of glue on that end. And then stand it right up. and just hold it for a moment. It won't take long. I usually like to swipe off some of the glue on the, it squeezes out. So while we're waiting, here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of putting 5 of the YouTube videos, and they'll be free YouTubes, and one will be how to make a basic box. They'll be called Box Basics. And then one will be on how to wrap the box. Another will be how to make the lid, how to do the friction lock, and then how to do dividers inside. I thought those would be pretty basic, and I think they'd be helpful to people. Okay, so you got it like this. And mine is standing up straight. I hope yours is too. Take the other long side and place it temporarily just right against the one that's standing up by itself. And take the 2 short sides, put them right up against the ones that are standing upright. And take your pencil and mark at the other end of the base.
Did you put the second side on the inside of the box? The
Yes.
second long thing? Okay,
I did.
thank you.
Mhm. That's so these will be exactly the right size once we glue on that other end. We're going to cut off this little bit of excess.
Nancy, you're making the mark not on top of the box, but just a little bit wider than the box, or is it right on top of the under?
It's even with the bottom of the box.
Okay.
Yeah, visually it might not look like it, but and if you've never cut bookboard before, you never cut through on the first try. It's always 3 or 4 or more swipes through. When I was teaching, before I started doing video classes or Zoom classes, I would have people come to my classes and cut all of their own board for all the pieces. And then it finally occurred to me, why are we wasting all that time? They don't need to learn that skill. They can, they can do that anytime. And I started supplying the cut pieces instead. Just made more sense. Some people didn't have the hand strength to do all that cutting. So after you have,
On cutting them, do you have a board shear, or how do you manage to cut them so accurately?
I have a print shop that will do them for me with their machine that just kind of goes down. It's
Ooh.
electronic.
So what you just asking if they can cut that for you, huh?
I bring in a class's worth or more,
Right.
and they'll do that for me, and it's not expensive at all. And some of them, if you have a relationship with a print shop, they probably would do it for free. Or
Thank you. Good suggestion.
or they will charge you outrageously, and that could happen too. Who knows? So when you take the short sides, you'll see there's a little bit left over here. So there's room to put that final side on. So is everyone ready to glue the short side on?
I need a couple of
Not
minutes.
yet.
Okay. I appreciate you keeping your cameras on. It does help me pace things, and it does help me gauge whether I'm making myself clear. So Mara, if you want to leave yours off, it's okay, but you know,
No, my husband was coming in to help me open up my glue and he was just out of the shower. I didn't think everybody wanted to see it.
oh, we did.
Oh,
Yeah, we did
darn.
want to see that, yeah. It's too bad you turned your camera off.
Now, does it matter that the short side is a little bit taller than
How little bit?
does that matter?
Like a 32nd of an inch or a 16th?
Yes.
Yes, that does not matter.
Okay,
Because you have sandpaper, right? That everyone is going to be using in a little bit.
okay.
And we will make that difference go away.
I
go
just
ahead.
discovered, that I cut one of my pieces just a wee bit too short. So do you have any suggestions?
How we a bit?
I would say, let's see. Maybe between a 16th and an 8th of an inch. Yikes.
Go ahead and glue the short sides on, and then we'll see what difference it makes, okay?
Okay.
So to glue the short side, you're going to take and glue the short side on the bottom. And then you're going to glue it on one of its short sides. And place it right next to the one that you've already have standing upright. And then place it right along the edge. I'm not a perfectionist. And there are lots of ways that you can adjust things to make things your own and to make things beautiful and use your creativity without perfection. If we wanted a box from Target or Walmart, we would buy a box from Target or Walmart. Small imperfections, I think, make them more interesting. As long as you don't immediately point out those imperfections to the first person you show your box to. Like, oh yeah, it's really nice, but look at this, you know, no, I've done it. You're going to do the same exact thing with the other short side. And please do hold it firmly in place until you're sure that it's adhering well. In terms of making adjustments, my last side, when I hold it up there, is just a little bit longer. And I could trim that down just slightly, or I could just leave it, and I'm going to leave it. And then we'll sand that and it'll be fine. So the last piece, you put glue all along the bottom. And then the only difference is you put glue on the edge, on the ends of one face. So it catches the ends of these two short sides. And who was it who asked about the grain? Was that you, Sue?
Sue Reynolds.
Yeah, if I'm making a larger box, you know, a lot larger box, then the grain matters to me. Then normally it's long ways on the board that I buy from Hollanders. The grain goes long ways, so I try to cut it that way.
And so it would be long going on the sides, then it would be going around or parallel to the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Mhm. And when you've glued all four sides, please turn it upside down and put some kind of weight on top of it. I finally took one of my old glue bottles and filled it with shot from a way too heavy weight that I had. A friend of mine gave me diving weights and you could hardly lift the thing. And it made five little containers like this, which do the job just fine. The next thing you're going to do is cut your book cloth. It'll be 5.5 inches to around 18 inches. If it's 17.25 or 17.5, that's fine, but around 18 inches.
Nancy,
Yes?
in the kit, what is this? It's like a suede surface and,
It just is to keep the paper from,
okay, just want to make sure.
it's mat board. A friend of
Yeah,
mine
that's
is
what I thought.
a framer and
I just wondered if there was something I was missing here.
you know, it's either use chipboard or use mat board to keep the envelope stiff.
Okay, thank you. It's very nice.
Cindy, I still haven't gotten ambitious enough to make that box you brought to my studio that one time, the one that's kind of rounded. That is just beautiful. But I'm working on making some mansard type boxes that are kind of rounded. But I'm not quite there yet. Okay, give me a thumbs up when you've got your book cloth cut. Wonderful. Okay.
I'm slow.
That's okay. This is not a race. Thanks, Linda. Is there anyone who would like a little more time?
Yes, I've almost got it. Okay,
My problem always is finding a space big enough and flat enough that I haven't already mucked up with other stuff. So now I would like you to measure 3/4 of an inch from one edge. And draw a line.
Long side or short side?
On the short end. But in a minute, that question will be moot. The next thing you do is to draw a line, not on top and bottom, just on the bottom. Also 3/4 of an inch. If you have a spacer with 3/4 of an inch, that would be a good thing to use.
Did you say 3/4 along the long side too?
That's right. Mhm.
Thank you.
I just found a new corner miter tool that I really like. And that's exactly 3/4 of an inch wide. So I can use that to gauge when I need to measure 3/4 of an inch. It seems that's the same fold over I use for most of my books and journals and things too, as well as boxes.
And so we're drawing another line on that 3/4 long edge.
We are. You have 3 sized panels. If you want to just set them out in front of you, there's the small, the medium, and the large. And you may think it's overkill to put an M and S and L on them, but I do that because I have goofed up at times and put them in the wrong order. I don't want to do that. At least not in front of everybody. Okay, so you're going to take the medium and you're going to glue it right, glue the corner of it right where those 2 3/4 of an inch lines meet.
Okay, Nancy, I'm confused. Are we putting this on the front of the front side of the board
Nope, of the book cloth?
of the book cloth?
No, we're putting it on the back side.
Oh, well, okay, yours looks like it's the front side, so I put my lines on the wrong side.
Okay, well, just put your lines on the other side. It'll be okay.
I will do that right
Yeah.
now.
The piece I'm using is the same on both sides.
That's what confused me. Okay.
I'm sorry, I should have said that. And after you've glued it down, just turn it over and smooth it with your hands or with the bone folder.
I'm sorry, did you just glue that down? I didn't see that.
I did. I just glued that down
Okay, thank you.
right in that corner.
So you put glue on the entire bottom surface and glued it down, right?
That's right, of the medium piece. I just bought something I do not need at all, but I will have fun using. It's a machine from Sizzix that will make a texture on paper, as well as cut out various shapes, a lot like the old Ellison machines we used to have when I was still teaching. So now to justify my purchase, I need to make some things that will use that. Just looks like so much fun.
What amount of glue do you use on these? Do you like heap a lot of glue on it, or?
Not a
is
lot.
it-
I don't want it to seep out on the sides.
Okay,
And if it does seep out on the sides, I hope you have some kind of a wet wipe or something to just wipe it off. I just have some wipes that I use. You know, Vicky, what the answer to that is. Just enough. That's how much you use.
yeah.
Carol, I still would love to get a look at all those books in your bookcases back there. Looks intriguing.
Been collecting for a long time.
They do They do pile up, but they are wonderful.
Even the glass.
The next thing, after you have that glued down, you're going to take 2 pieces of board. I don't care which 2 pieces. If you take 2 pieces of board, put them right next to the medium one and draw a line. That's how far apart we're going to want the next board and this one to be. 2 board widths. And that little tool I just showed you even has a piece for that. This little piece here is 2 board widths, which is kind of amazing.
So you say 2 board widths, Nancy?
Take 2 boards and put them right next to the first piece you glued down and then draw a line.
Okay.
And when you've done that, you're going to take a small piece and using the guidelines, glue it down. Guideline you just drew, and then the 1/3 of an inch at the bottom. Vicky,
Mm-hmm.
this is how much glue I use.
Okay, good.
And when you've done that, you're going to take another line, 2 board widths deep, next to the small one that you've just glued down. And after you've drawn that line 2 board widths deep, you're going to glue down the large piece. That's going to be the very bottom. Try not to get anything on the other side of your book cloth, but if you do, sometimes and often, if you just use one of the wipes and wipe off any glue that you got on there, it's good. I'll bet you can tell what I want you to do next. I'm going to take 2 board widths and draw a line next to the large one that we've just finished. And the next one to be glued down is the small one. Okay, then again, draw 2 lines, 2 board widths, excuse me, draw a line 2 board widths apart. And I use the buckle for the second board. And then you're going to glue the final piece down. Linda Valdez, I was wondering if you were using the roller to put glue on. I thought, whoa. Big ruler.
No, I was just flattening.
Ah. But when you're done with the final piece, there'll be more than 3/4 of an inch left here. So let's cut off everything except 3/4 of an inch. And try to cut it straighter than I did. Okay, if you need a little more time, would you hold up the number of fingers, how many minutes you'll need?
I need a couple of minutes. I messed up. So I'm catching up.
Just let us know when. When you miter, you know, I have several corner tools, like this one that I just showed you, that goes right around the corner. And you draw a line and that's where you cut off the corner because you need that little bit of space in between. But if you don't have a corner tool, you take those two little scraps that you cut off from the short side of the box, and they're perfect to just put on a diagonal from that corner at a 45-degree angle.
I lost one of those.
Well,
Nancy,
then use the buckle for the other one.
how much do we trim off at the end? Or we leave
It should be
3/4 of an inch at the
3/4 of
end?
an
Is that
inch from the end of the medium one to the end of the cloth. You know, like the 3/4 of an inch all the rest of the way around. Just wait a little bit more. And in half an hour, we'll take a 15-minute break. That should be a good time to do that. But if you're just sitting there right now, you could roll your shoulders a little and yeah, just loosen up your neck and shoulders, because so much time bent over like this is just not good. My daughter's a PT and she yells at me. Well, my other daughter is a massage therapist. She also yells. They not yell, they chide. They also caution, take care of your hands, like clench your hands and then shake them out. Okay, is there anyone who needs more time? Nope, we're okay. All right. Then I'm going to put glue all along this surface and just slightly around the corner on each side. This is not the easiest thing to do without getting glue everywhere. And then almost immediately, I want you to pick it up and fold it over. And you might need to just press it down. Be sure you're not leaving a little gap between the board and the book cloth. Pull it up nice and tight. Then take your bone folder and go along and smooth it. And while you're at it, take your bone folder and square that edge, go along that side. And when you've done that side, go and do the other side, the opposite side. I'm using a very plastic book cloth. It's not lined with paper, and so it doesn't always stick really well the first time. You have to persuade it. And be sure that you fold up whatever gluing surface you have so you don't get glue on the outside. And if you do get glue on the outside, you know, you just come up with some creative embellishments. If you're a bookbinder, you probably already know what to do next. You're going to take your bone folder or your thumbnail and push those little corners down. That's why we put a little glue on there to start out with. And then glue this shut like that, and you should have nice mitered corners. When you're done, go over the sides with your bone folders just to square those edges, because the edges are going to show. We want them to be nice and square. And usually tap on the corners. Maybe
Nancy, can you see that little squidge in there?
take a little piece of your book cloth and just put it over them. Is it on the outside edge here too?
It's just a little bit. It's not horrible.
Okay.
So just like cut a little strip and just
And just
glue
lay
it.
it in there. You don't probably even need to do that. If I was sitting next to you, I would probably tell you it's going to be okay, but just in case,
Okay.
because these will be covered by paper. Okay, these pieces. I'm just laying this aside right now to dry. Although I can never resist, I will take the box that we just made and sit it down in there. And it should overlap slightly because we're going to wrap the box in paper, so it's going to have a little more substance to go around. It should be very close. I love giving myself these little encouraging nods. You know,
Yeah, mine fits. That's wonderful. I'm not always that lucky.
And if you're done, now is a good time to sand the edges. And round the edges, the corners.
Nancy,
Yes,
my top edges aren't flush. Should I take them down? They're about, the long sides are about 1/8 of an inch high.
sand the corners and see if you can minimize that difference as much as you can. Otherwise, if you want to take it apart and trim it, certainly do that.
Okay, thank you.
So here's another thing. If you have a section like mine, where there's obviously no glue down in the bottom part here, I would tell you not to worry about that because Chiagami is extremely strong paper and you're going to have a layer of Chiagami on the outside and a layer on the inside. That will be more than enough to hold your box together. And Chiagami is also relatively waterproof because of the number of times it's every time they put on a new color, they use a new tray and they wash after each color. It's pretty sturdy paper. Don't just round the top corners, also round the bottom corners. We don't want any sharp corners poking through anything. In the very first box class I ever taught, there was a man who was a woodworker. When I said to sand, he just went at it. I swear, he almost went through the whole board. Only sanding it 5 or 6 times. He was very enthusiastic. The next thing I'd like you to do is cut your Chiagami paper. And the way we figure out how much paper we need, you measure all the way around the sides of the box, and then you add an inch for the overlap. Concerning the height, each of these is 2.5 here, 2.5 on the inside, so that's 4 inch. And you want a 3/4 inch hangover here and in the bottom, so you add 1.5 inches to that. So it's 5.5 inches. So we need a piece 5.5 inches by 20. Oh, and before you do anything with Chiagami paper, you need to cut off the white borders.
Nancy, you're too low down on the screen.
I'm sorry.
You're too low down on the screen. We can't see where you're cutting.
And I covered that. I'm just cutting 5.5 inches by 20 inches.
Okay.
And I'll measure
My
my,
paper's 19 inches long. Is that okay?
yes, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And if you needed you know, we can always patch it as we wrap it as well. When you've cut your paper, draw a line 3/4 of an inch along one of the long sides. Check your paper to be sure that you're drawing it at the bottom. If it makes a difference with the paper that you're using. You know, I'm not sure you want your cranes flying upside down. And maybe you do, who knows? But now would be a good time to consider that. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Just the one edge that we did the 3/4 of an inch line.
One, right, just the bottom.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, does anyone hold up a finger if you need a minute or two more? Okay. Then you've got your paper with that line on the bottom. You're going to take your box and stand it up with the open side facing you. And you're going to stand it up right on the, well, right on the edge. Excuse me, with the open edge facing away from you.
That's what I thought. I was
That's
getting a
what you,
little.
like, duh. Ah, okay. So don't do as I say, do as I do. But
So the
do
open
be
edge
sure-
way.
do be sure that you're along this line on the bottom of the back of the box. Okay, and then I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to crease right down here at the corner. I'm going to keep wrapping it and crease right up here at the corner. And then I'm going to turn it, keeping the box in place on the paper. And I'm going to go to the last side. And crease that corner. And then down here. And the reason we do it like this is the very last piece we're going to glue is this piece. And it's going to come up exactly on that corner and you can hardly see the seam then. Okay. So would anybody like me to do that again?
I would,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
So the open side is facing away from you.
Mhm.
You've got it like this right on the edge. And you're going to fold up and crease that corner. Fold over and crease that corner. And then just turn the whole thing over, but keep it in place. And then fold over one more time and crease that corner. And then when you get to this point, I keep my hand back here and I put that back, making sure that this box is where it's supposed to be, where we creased those corners. And I'm going to put glue on this surface and down here for that little overlap part.
Okay, so I don't have overlap. It just meets at the corner.
Okay, then let it meet at the corner. That's okay.
Do you have the box?
Does
Uh,
it leave any space, Heather?
Excuse me?
Does it leave any space at that corner?
Well, I think if I pull it, I can make it work to meet.
I was just wondering if you should put a little piece of your Chiagami around the corner, just in case.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, thank you.
So we're just gluing the one side right now.
Right. We just glued this side. And then I'm going to turn it over. Whoop. And I'm going to glue the next side and roll that over and glue the next side and roll that over.
Okay.
Until we get back to the beginning. Where we folded that little flap over. And just keep my hand back here. Back here. Hold the paper up. Where I glued it. And then you glue each successive side. And I'd like to use my bone folder just to smooth the paper down. When you get to the final part, Chiagami, like most paper, when it gets wet, it stretches a little. So when you get to the last part, it might have stretched a little, so you might need to trim a little bit off of this end. Or not. What I would like you to do is to put glue all the way up on this little overlap piece. So you're gluing the whole piece. How's it going, Mara?
Going good.
Good. Are you on a computer or an iPad?
I'm on a computer.
You can just push the space bar, I think, and it'll mute you and unmute you. And when you're done, turn it upside down to dry. And then we'll take a 15-minute break. I'm going to stop the recording right now, but I'm not going anywhere. Okay. Now we're going to finish the box. And then we've got good things coming our way. But first, I would like to hear a little bit about you. I'm going to unspotlight myself. So we're all on here. I'd just like you to tell where you're from and a little bit about yourself. Linda, would you start, please?
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name is Linda Valdez. I'm a retired journalist. I live in Tucson, Arizona. I do quilting and painting and photography, and mostly what I do is digital art using my photographs, which you can see behind me. That's about it.
Well put. Your photography is very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Vicky, would you like to go next?
I am also from Tucson. I had a career in museums for almost 30 years, and my newest love is cyanotypes, and I also do collage, and I'm in a great PaperWorks poetry group. It started out with PaperWorks, and then we went off on our own, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Thank you. Sue,
Yes, I am a Minnesotan by birth and retired to Asheville, North Carolina for 17 wonderful years. And recently moved, well, recently, it seems recently, but it was, I guess it's almost 10 years ago, we moved to Pennsylvania to be closer to our daughter. In Asheville, I took classes at Asheville Bookworks, which was a great place, which unfortunately is no longer going. And I had a book arts group there, which I loved. And since I moved to Pennsylvania, I've been doing other kinds of things. One of the things I really enjoyed was learning how to make paper. So that's kind of it.
when you were in Hendersonville, did you run into Dan Essig?
Well, his wife was in the weaving program with me at Haywood Community College, Vicky. Yeah.
Taking some classes from him up here on Washington Island, and wow, what a guy.
You're on the island, Nancy?
No, I'm on the tip of the peninsula.
Of Door County, right?
I have to go over Death's Door to get to the island. Thanks very much.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron.
You're on mute.
I'm Aaron Newman. I live in Oracle, Arizona, which is just north of Tucson. I'm a paper quilling artist and have recently got into making journals and bookbinding.
Oh, nice. Quilling. That has always fascinated me. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Aaron, if you have one of your quilled pieces there, do you have one you can hold up for people? They're quite lovely.
All right, let me show you one real quick. I just finished it. We have an art walk in our community coming up in first part of April, so I had to really get something done quickly.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful.
my goodness. You got that done quickly?
Yeah, right.
I tend to use the word just a lot, and people say it's not just. You just don't just do that. But anyway, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
Breathtaking. Thank you. Okay, Linda with a Y.
That's me. I'm Linda Henderson, and I also live in Tucson, actually Oro Valley, which is a little north of Tucson. And I've been a dabbler all my life. I have tried all kinds of things, and I've recently reconnected with my art teacher from high school. Was a nun, Sister Toma. And when I was speaking, she's 96 years old and sharp as a tack. And she said that she asked me what I remembered from her class in high school. And I actually remembered a lot because she was just so innovative and wonderful. I really appreciated her as a teacher. So, but since I've moved to Tucson, I've made jewelry, I've been in and out of PaperWorks, and I just love everything that I've been learning and doing, and it's just been a ton of fun. And it's, it keeps me busy because I recently have not been able to play golf. So that was, this is a nice thing to fill in with, is arts and crafts and just being creative. So
You like
it's
to
been fun.
stay busy. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Linda. Kate, would you mind?
Hey, I am Kate McEnroe. I live in downtown Chicago, and I found you all because I sort of track what Nancy does and wait and see until she's doing new structures. We are in the Handmade Book Club together. My husband told me this morning that my hobby is learning things, and which is a nice way of saying like I have different stuff everywhere. Yeah, I do a lot of different things like many of you do, and periodically search my soul for whether or not I have to specialize, but so far it's not taking. Just doing whatever.
Tell us about
But I love boxes. I'm sorry.
Tell us about the art behind you.
Oh yeah, those are mixed media paintings. They're all just full of paint and pencil and pastels and lots of different kinds of mark making. And so I started out, I guess, sewing, quilting, collage because I thought collage would go faster than a quilt. I thought you could make a collage faster than a quilt. And then my collage teacher tricked me into painting. So yeah, and then yesterday I did this amazing thing called a yarn wrapping workshop because I mean that's the great COVID thing, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Oh,
That
yeah.
is cool. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's been such the upside for me. COVID was all these lovely teachers that I wouldn't ever have access to, and now I do.
Yeah. COVID did bring some gifts. That's true.
Mhm.
Well, thank you very much, Kate. Cindy, do you mind?
Oh, hi. My name is Cindy Carey. I'm from Wisconsin, outside of Madison. And I've been, I like classes. I like going to arts classes. I've done a lot of different things over the years. Started doing a lot of handwork, knitting and crocheting and things like that, but gotten off into all sorts of different things. And several years ago, took a class from Nancy up in the clearing, doing marbling and different things, origami. And so I've been taking classes from her, I don't know for how long, over probably 10 years, something like that, different places. Taking classes from the Minnesota Center for Book Arts in Minneapolis, different things, and going up to, I'd like to do a lot of paper right now. That seems to be what I'm doing, but go to a lot of different classes, alcohol inks, things like that, just learning a lot of different things. I enjoy seeing what other people do and how they do it. And it's just so inspiring. I'm taking another class with Nancy up in the clearing this summer, and also taking a class at the Siders Fiber Arts School in Washington Island in Door County this summer to do tamari, the embroidery on a ball, the Japanese tradition. I took one class a couple of years ago with them. So, but it's nice up in Door County. You get up high, if you get above the tension line, higher north of the northern part of Door County, it's a whole different place than all the touristy stuff down south. And it's just very relaxing and fun to do it up there. So.
Well, so I just had breakfast with Judy Yamamoto, and
Oh, did you? Yeah.
told me about your tamari class. Oh, they are so beautiful. I love tamari.
It's a lot of fun. It's just different, you know. A lot of fun learning a lot of different things and seeing what people do all over the world. Actually, it's kind of so interesting. So,
thanks very much, Carol.
Well, to start, I live in Albuquerque, and I've been doing bookbinding and book arts for over 20 years now. And I think I just counted this as number 6 class with Nancy. So I have some beautiful boxes. That's probably going to be Christmas gifts this year, I've decided. You mentioned, well, other people have mentioned things I've been to or done. I've had a class with Dan Essig. He came to Santa Fe one year. And so I know who he is. Years ago, I belonged to PaperWorks and used to travel to Tucson because my husband's stepmother lived there. But after we quit traveling, after she passed away, I had to rejoin PaperWorks when I saw Nancy was coming. I've been to Minnesota Center for the Book several times over the years, going to Guild of Bookworkers, etc. So I'm down to the point where Zoom is my best buddy, and I've been able to take a lot of really good classes. It's been a blessing for me, for sure. So I think that's probably about it.
Well, thanks. It's been a pleasure every time I've seen you, for sure.
Thank you.
Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather. I live in Tucson. I'm a native Arizonian. Like a lot of you, I like to take lots of classes and learn different things. And then I buy the supplies and they sit on the shelf while I take more different classes.
You're not
And I don't-
alone.
Yeah, and I
We
don't
can
just
all
take,
relate.
I like to do other things. So like, I also do orienteering and I play taiko drums and I do West Coast swing dancing. So I like to do lots of different stuff.
What
Glad
do
to
you,
be.
what do you keep in that incredible chest behind you?
Oh, it's just little doodads. Isn't that beautiful? I got that
Yeah.
at a store that has since closed down, and you
That's-
know, I'm very fortunate to be there at the right time when they put it on the floor.
It's wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, thanks so much, Heather.
Yeah, thank you.
Mara.
You
I was
lost Mark.
doing the space bar and it didn't want to. Okay, I'm Mara Crummins. I spent 6 months in Tucson and 6 months in Chicago. I'm a metalsmith and collage artist.
Wow.
She says modestly.
Yeah.
And have a lot of fun doing it. And very grateful to have PaperWorks down here and have a little bit of an arts community in my other location.
Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you, Mara. Myrna.
Well, I'm not feeling well today, but I'm in Tucson and I'm like everybody else. I like learning and taking different classes. And I think this is my third with Nancy. And I've done clay, fused glass, and now I'm trying to do anything you can do with paper.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Myrna. I hope you feel better quickly.
Thank you.
And Terry?
Yes, I'm a snowbird. I'll be returning to Boise in about a month. But right now I'm golfing and playing pickleball, and I love to make boxes and fun fold cards.
Ooh, wow. Pickleball too. That's great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And Sue?
I already spoke. That's my other iPad in my
Oh,
other.
that's right.
area.
That's right. I'm sorry. I counted you twice.
That's okay.
Jan, can you tell us about yourself? Maybe Jan has stepped away for a moment. It's fine.
Well, I'm just gonna put a couple of 2 cents in for Jan. She is an extraordinary watercolor artist, does amazing things, and is represented at Arizona Artisans Gallery, and she's in one of my handmade book groups through PaperWorks, and great person.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just met her at Desert Artisans, and she.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I call it that for a while too. But anyway, her work is amazing, and she's had a lot of boxes that she had done with Nancy, and a really, really nice person. We had a nice time chatting and catching up. So wherever she is.
Very nice person.
Yeah.
Okay. Have I missed anybody? I don't think so. Although I would love Kathy to say a few words.
Oh, well, thank you. Welcome to everybody. I got hooked on Nancy's box classes, and so I think I've taken 4 or 5 of them now. In my past life, I was a weaver. My husband said I was into loom management. I still have 5 looms, but haven't woven for a while. And then I owned a bead and button store for 14 years and 4 years in my studio, and was a jeweler then for quite a while until we moved to Tucson. And I was tired of carrying tools back and forth and all the silver and everything else, and went to a PaperWorks meeting and met Mara, and she and I really connected and went, wow, we found our people here in Tucson. And so I now make books and collage and boxes and just generally enjoy life, and have loved Nancy's classes. So thank you very much.
Where was your bead and button store?
In Bellevue, Washington.
Oh, okay.
And I have to
So-
mention, Kathy is one of the most prolific artists I've ever
Oh.
met. She does beautiful work and a lot of it.
I agree. And
Yeah.
Kathy kind of personifies why I do what I do. She, you know, I may teach her to make a box, but she makes a box.
Mhm.
She makes it her own. She adds embellishments. She just one of the most creative people I've ever met.
Well,
Mhm.
thank you. You guys are
I agree.
embarrassing. And
And she doesn't make just one box, you know, she makes like a
No.
dozen. You know, it's
Right.
like, why stop at one?
That's true. That's true. I love her.
well, I did just have the family reunion and I made them 18 books.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is
Amazing.
fabulous.
Treasures.
Well,
And the one who liked it the best was the 8-year-old who turned it instantly into a diary, which she wouldn't let anyone else look at.
Oh,
that's
that's
wonderful.
great.
Thanks, Kathy. All right. Are we ready to go on?
Mhm.
All right. So here we are with your box. I have it turned upside down. And all I want you to do is pinch the corners and then just cut the tip of the corners off. And then glue those sides down to the bottom of the box. I normally have a rule that I just do one side at a time and then put it, but on this, it just goes very quickly. I go over and do all sides. I put glue on and then fold them down. All right, and then we're ready to deal with the top of the box. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these two sides long and these two sides short. So when we push these two sides down, they'll fit exactly within the box. And when we push these two sides down, they will round the corner a little bit to hide any seams. In theory, this is all true, but it will work. What I do is I put the box on its side. I keep my thumb right next to the box and I take my bone folder and I start at the corner and I just score a line from the corner of the box to the top of the paper. And then I'm going to take on the short side and I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to put it inside the box, the corner, and I'm going to draw a line that is parallel to that score line I just made, but is the width of the bookboard, there, width of the bookboard away from the corner. Okay, so you do that on all four corners. And then you cut on those lines.
I'm sorry, you do that on all four corners of the short side, both short sides, or all the way around?
You just do it on the two short sides,
Two short sides, okay, thank you.
because those are the ones when we cut them, they're going to fit flush right inside. And then you cut on those lines.
Do you do it on both sides?
Do it on both short sides. That's exactly right. I can't say I'm very fond of the brush I'm using. I'm going to use a different one for the rest. What I'd like you to do is to take the two short sides then and just fold them back out of the way. And then I'm going to lay it down with one of the long sides flat, and I'm going to put glue on it. And then I'm going to start to fold it inside, but I want to be very careful that I'm pulling it tight. And you rub here first on the rim, and then push it down inside. And it seems like it's going to be all wrinkly, and it is a little wrinkly. But once you take your bone folder, and smooth it out, it works beautifully. And you can see that it goes around the corner just enough, so when we put this in, the corner won't show. Same thing on this side. So glue the other long side down. And then when you're done with that, you're going to glue the two shorter sides down.
Any tips for getting the corners down in the bottom of the box dealt with well?
Yeah, your bone folder is the best tool for that.
I mean, do you try and spread the side down first and then work the long edge down first and then worry about the other, or?
The long edges will go around the corners. The short edges won't. They'll just fold in flush, so you don't have to worry about a corner bend.
Okay.
And when you've glued all those down, I want you to measure the inside of your box and cut a piece of paper that size to the bottom. Mine is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4.
I'm a bit behind, so
Okay, anything I can help you with?
no, I'm just slow apparently.
We're not in a hurry. Take your time. No, mine is more like 3 5/8.
Okay, so I have a question because I have that extra little piece of paper I put on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just kind of, I don't know, it seems,
Extend over the top of the box also.
yes.
Okay, then just treat it like the regular side and fold it over also. But fold it underneath the other part.
It's just a little bulky, I think.
Nancy, are you measuring from the inside of the box after the edge there?
Right. Right. So
Okay.
it can fit right down inside the box.
Okay.
And you did the long edges first, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
You might want to try it on for size on the inside first, but if it fits, you can just glue it down. Then use your bone folder, just smooth it down, use your fingers. This would be another good time to try your box on for size. And if it's pretty tight, you might want to just take these ends and just fold them down. Get them used to going down. Train the book claw.
My box cover is larger than the box.
That's okay. We're going to add another layer of paper right now.
Oh,
How
okay.
much larger?
Oh, well, and on the side, I don't know.
Show me.
There's some airspace. It's not terribly much. So maybe that extra paper will take care of it.
What we're going to do right now is everyone ready to move on?
Where
No.
I'm not sure where we are. Were we still cutting those two pieces of
For the
that
bottom
you're-
of the bottom of the
the
box.
bottom of the box is in, and so that part right there, inside outer panels, are we doing that now?
That's what I'm going to show you right now.
Okay.
Okay, wait,
Heather?
I'm not there yet. I haven't done the inside. Can you tell me again how you did that?
Mhm.
Thank you.
I measured inside one side to the inside of the other,
Okay,
and then I cut a piece of paper that size and just
Okay.
glued it down on the bottom.
okay, great, thank you.
But you can do that anytime.
Okay,
Okay, why don't
Great.
we'll go ahead with the next step, and then you'll have some work done, okay?
okay, great.
What we're going to do now is cut two pieces of paper, and they're going to go right in this part of the outer panels. So this part is covered. Okay, and it's going to go down to about the middle of the side. So mine was 3 3/4 by 4 inches. And yours should be pretty close to that as well. So if you've cut two pieces that size,
So Nancy, it covers, can you lift that off? It covers that, okay, that it covers that one crease
it covers the crease, right?
and then comes in about the middle of the other one.
That's right. And then this piece down here is going to get glued onto the side of the box. So we don't need that, but we
Okay,
do need that.
so it's just down to about the half of that smaller panel.
That's right. Mhm.
So your 4-inch measurement is top to bottom, yes?
This way.
That's your 4 inches? Okay.
Yep.
And then the orientation, if we have directional paper, that's the other thing I'm trying to see.
Yeah, right. You'll need to think about that if you have directional paper.
So I think when you had your box, that orientation was the same as the orientation on the inside of the box? On the striped one?
On the striped one?
Yeah.
Okay. So the box will be like this.
Right. So it's the same. That's what I was trying to, okay, I got it.
And so how much of that is gonna show? Just the medium-sized panel on the top?
That's correct.
Okay, okay. 3 1/4.
I have a question.
Sure.
My Chiagami, and maybe it's because I cut the bottom piece from the wrong end of it. I've only got 3.5-inch width left. So can I cut it from the boat cloth instead? I know it would look different, but
You could.
or should I do it so that there's just a bigger top and bottom border of the red?
How deep is it?
3.5.
Okay, so 3.5 inches would take you to there. So that would still work.
That's okay.
Unless you'd rather use the book cloth if you've got enough.
Yeah, I've actually got about, it's a little short of 3.5. It's actually more like 3 1/4.
As long as it goes over that excuse me, that the distance between the two, the medium and the small boxes,
As long as it covers the crease.
right?
Okay.
Do we glue it down then, Nancy?
And you glue it down. That's exactly right.
And are we, yeah, so you're mushing in between the separation.
I am. I am.
We glue it down, we glue it down.
I just noticed about a minute ago that this step is not listed in the directions. There's a picture of it, but there are no directions for it. So that's a change I need to make.
And are you sort of using your bone folder to push it into the crease?
Very lightly. You don't need to
Okay.
do it much. It would be very easy to break through the paper doing that. You're not.
Yeah, okay.
When you're done gluing those down, you're going to take your box and glue it the bottom of the box to that center panel. And then put a weight in it to let that dry. And then we're going to be gluing this part here up to there. And the same thing on this side. I'm going to glue those sides on as well.
So glue the bottom of the box. Okay.
Do not be upset if the top feels a little springy. you're going to put a weight on this for probably the next full day. Encourage that to stay down. But for right now, all you're doing is gluing your box, the bottom of your box. You need to stand up to look down to make sure that you have it centered. That would be fine too.
Align. What is it?
When you're done gluing your box down, you're going to take your buckle and draw a line 3/4 of an inch from each edge. And then you're going to cut out the center area, just the center area. Take your time, because this is difficult to cut through, especially in such a small space. Personal preference, I like to cut the two long sides first so I can see them on the back, either through or just about through, and then I'll cut the shorter sides. Just when I think that it's ready to just pop out of the center, I find a recalcitrant bit it's hanging on. after you get the little center cut out, you're going to want to sand it pretty vigorously because this will have a layer of book cloth over it, and this will have a layer of paper over it. And this still has to fit inside of there. So you need to take off quite a bit to make sure that it's going to fit. You know, I just cut off about 1/16 of an inch from one long side, and that is just about perfect. I might need to cut the same amount off of one end. Otherwise, we'll be sanding, I think, until the cows come home.
Okay.
Unless you've already sanded and it fits and has a little bit of space around it.
So Nancy, it needs a space on the end or just the sides?
Well,
Both,
because
okay.
it's going to be covered with book cloth, and that's pretty heavy
Okay.
stuff. But you can see on mine, there's space around on each side.
Okay.
Are we trying to round the corners at all?
A little bit. That would be a good idea. And then while you're at it, you can take the buckle part, the outside part, and just round those corners on the outside slightly too. You don't want any sharp corners.
Nancy, is that book cloth or the other, or the printed?
That's your shiogami, the printed.
Okay.
You know, it's another thing you might want to pay attention to the direction. If that matters with your paper.
Mine doesn't add up like that, so it's just really to cover the buckle, the outside of it.
Oh, that's right.
So it doesn't have to be 3.5 by 4.5.
Well, right. You just need to leave about 3/4 of an inch on side larger.
Got it. Okay, understand.
Yeah, it's 3.5 by 4.5-ish.
Yeah, got it.
And yes, I did teach math, but boy, that was a long time ago.
Nancy, before you do that, could you show how that buckle is going to lay on top so I can figure out the directions, the directionality of the paper? Could you show where it gets placed on them? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. I was cheered by the thought that soon I can order a few gallons of PVA without chance of them freezing. But it's not today, but sometime soon. while you're doing that, let me just go over the steps for finishing the buckle because it's not rocket science. It's pretty easy. You're going to cut away from the corner. We only have one piece of board, although you can dig out those little tiny pieces if you like, but you're supposed to have, I'm leaving it just a little bit away from the corner, and then I'm going to cut behind that. And these four will be the last things that you fold in. But we're going to now look at the center part. And I'm going to take a straight edge, draw diagonal lines, corner to corner on the inside of that. And then I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to cut on those lines, but I'm not going to cut all the way to the corner. I'm going to leave a small space. And I usually find I can't cut all the way down. I have to start at each corner and fold to this and fold and cut to the center. You're going to kind of ease that around and fold it back and glue it down.
Have you already glued the buckle to the paper?
I did.
No,
Yes.
you did glue the buckle to the paper.
Buckles glued to the paper, and then I cut the corners, and then I put
Okay.
the diagonal and cut that.
Okay, I missed that step for some reason. Here we
You know, really, if I'm going too fast, just tell me because we still have plenty of time. And then you're going to glue the outside edges in. You know, and try them out first. If they're too long, if they're going to show down here, then just cut them shorter.
back of your buckle, okay, so you're gonna put something on the back of it to hide that?
Right, on.
Okay, perfect.
2/3 of it,
Okay.
right. There are parts of my buckle interior there that are still too wide. It's a good sign when I can put this part over that part and lift it up without it coming with. Perfect. Okay.
Nancy, when you put your buckle over that little insert piece, do you still need to see some space around it?
You do, because we still have to
Because-
cover that with bookboard.
Okay,
with
thank you.
Let's stop working on the buckle for just a little bit. I'm going to want you to glue these sides down here to your box. So put glue as far as the little bend, and then find something to put on the outside of it.
Which bend are we talking about?
This bend right up here. I'm going to put glue down here.
Okay.
Actually, it probably makes more sense to put glue on the side of the box and glue it up that way. After you have it sitting with some weight around it, you're going to want to finish the back of the buckle. You can see this is what shows.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And the way that I do it, I just took a small piece of paper I had and put it probably 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch even, and folded this over. So I'll know where to cut that. And then about 2/3 of the way down, I'll fold that over so I know where to cut that. And then
I'm sorry, what are we working on? Are you working on the inside of the buckle or?
yes, the bottom of the buckle, that's right. And we're going to cover about 2/3 of the way down the buckle. And just cut
Okay.
a little piece, kind of tip like a horseshoe
Oh,
cut.
I see. Okay, got it.
I mean, you could cover the whole thing if you like, but there's no reason to. So after I have it cut out like this, then I take the whole thing and turn it over. And I made mine just a little too long. Okay, so I've got it like this. And then I'm going to turn it over and just trace with my pencil the inside of that. I'm going to do a better job of it than that. And I'm going to cut that center part out. And probably cut a little bit on the outside of that line so the back paper doesn't show on the front. You might need to try it and see if you cut out enough. Oh, we're so close. This is a fun part of this. Okay, so if I put this back here and have it in place, if I turn it over, I can still see a little of that white part. I don't know, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, so I will cut more out of there.
So how far do you need to go down to cover that hole? Just
But it's a little more than half,
okay.
2/3 of the way down.
Okay, I have a question. So mine has a pattern on it, so I want it to be the right side. So it looks like I'm gonna cover the left side of the, like if it's facing up, I'm covering the left side since the right side looks like it's gonna be,
It depends on which way you have the box, whether it's left side or right side.
okay.
So
Okay.
we're
Okay.
gluing it back and then cutting out that center piece again, but just cutting it, not folding it or anything, right?
You mean covering the back part?
Correct. So you put that piece over the back, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and then the center piece that you've cut out, you're not folding it around the back side, you're cutting it
No,
right up to the edge.
No, I'm just cutting it out and then putting it in my little box.
Or covering the little buckle piece.
We can, I just wanted to cut a piece and get an idea of what size you
Got
should.
it.
So cut the paper about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch wider all the way around. My piece ended up being 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches.
Are you only going to see one side of this buckle?
Pardon?
Are you only going to see one side of the buckle?
That's right. Just the side that's covered. And the same thing with,
Oh, I don't mean the buckle. I mean the centerpiece.
right, you're going to see only one side and then the other side.
Oh, you are going to cover the back of it. Okay, I got you.
And now comes the real test. After it's covered, is it still going to fit in here nicely? Yeah. It's a little long. Oh. Okay. So I take this off and I'm going to just cut it down a little bit more. Luckily, there's plenty of book cloth, so you should have plenty if you need to do this also. I'm going to shave another 1/16 of an inch off the end. If you have it covered, be sure to tap on the corners. Perfect. All right. And then you need a little piece of your Chiogami paper to cover about 2/3 of the back of your buckle.
Oh,
It looks like that,
Oh,
a little bit. And there you want to cover the back part of both of those because they do show. The box doesn't really get fussy until you get to this part. And we're almost done. Who is at this point?
not yet.
Okay. So we'll go fast from here. We'll just keep going.
How far did we need to cover on the back of the buckle?
Just 2/3 of the way.
2/3 of the way. Thank you.
Mhm. And that's what I'm doing too, Kate, just wiping my fingers. One big bead. get some kind of paper because we're going to make sure that no glue gets on one side when we glue the other side. So I'm going to take this paper and just put it around like this.
Now it overlaps a little bit. Should it be right side over or left side over, or does it matter?
You mean that this part right here overlaps?
Yes.
Okay, put it so they meet exactly, and that's how it should be drying on the sides. But you also will put a weight on it overnight. So you want them to meet in the middle.
Okay.
Okay, is there anyone who needs a little more time? Okay. Then we've covered one side, so we won't get glue on that when we glue this part down. I'd like you to take this piece, and it's 3.5 inches long. So make a little tick mark very lightly on the side. I mean, it's not much of a tick mark. I don't know, can you see it?
Yeah. At what point?
At 1.7, 1 3/4.
1 3/4. Okay.
Mhm. And that's where you're going to glue it to on the uncovered side back here. You're going to glue it to that center point, and then you're going to lay it down at that center point right where the two sides meet. And I would suggest standing up to center it. Okay, so you're going to put glue on this unfinished side and then line it up with the two little tick marks you made, one on each side. But I always need to stand to center stuff.
On the, what side are you gluing on the back side of the buckle?
The side
Is
is
it the
gonna
bad
be
side?
glued down to-
Right, I'm talking about the back side of the buckle, the part you didn't cover.
That's right, the part you didn't cover. Because the other side, the other part will be visible.
Got it.
And it's about 3/4 down from the top, is that right?
The backing.
In
you're
terms of
putting-
centering it top to bottom, is it about 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah, it's about 3/4.
No, I mean from the top of the box. Where are you placing it?
I'm-
At
the
the
mark-
top of your screen, the
the
top
mark-
of the box. How do you know how far up and down? Is it about 3/4?
The mark that you put here on the side needs to
Right.
be right on the center.
Right, I understand that, but you could slide it up or down, and I'm trying to figure out the measurement up or down. See what I mean?
I'm just eyeballing it, but
Okay, okay.
it looks like it's that proverbial 3/4 of an inch all the way around.
Okay.
And for just a minute or so, put a weight on that. Hmm. Look what I did with that little middle part.
On top of your jar.
Oh, thank you. Ooh. Oh,
I
that
was
was
just
that
looking
would
for
have
mine, too. Sorry.
dry to the touch pretty quickly. And then you can probably guess how the other side is going to go on, but I will show you as soon as everybody gets theirs mailed, as soon as everybody gets theirs down. And I always check to make sure there's no glue on here, but there isn't. So when you're done, you're going to put paper on the other side to protect that when we glue down the center portion.
The part that's glued down, right?
Pardon?
The paper right there,
That
is
part
that
is-
you're on the part that's glued down on the buckle?
Mhm. Yep. It's a matter of holding it up like this, seeing where that center line is, and gluing it up to where that center line is. So mine will go just a little bit over my my cover for the other side. And I don't want to get glue on the sides like this because I don't want to glue it down to there.
You only want it glued on the back side of that little cap.
Mhm.
Did you just glue it now?
Mhm.
All right.
No. I'm going to, however, put a weight on top of it. My paper is pulling it up. So if there is any glue overlapping on the other side, you don't have to worry about it. Now I'm pushing the two sides together so these meet as exactly as I can get them to meet. Linda, you look wiped out.
No, I mean, this is just, I'm just waiting to see when the glue holds, if it's gonna work or not. That's sort of my stress moment.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
The anticipation.
Woohoo. It's going to be good.
Well, it's kind of magical when it works.
Mhm.
The other boxes worked and that was magical.
Yep. Not dry. Okay.
Can you show me on one of the box you've made before how this works? Just so I can understand the process. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to know that for sure. Get a vision of how this is going to turn out. My cat is putting her paws underneath the door and giving a chorus of poor, poor, pitiful me. I got a cat for company around Christmas time. And she became Miss Kitty after 2 name changes. But she does not play. I've never met a cat who didn't play. She's just not interested. But what she does at about 8:30, she'll come and start meowing nonstop because she wants me to go to bed. And then sometimes she'll just go in and hop on the bed and fall asleep and wait for me to come later. I don't know.
How old is she?
She's she'll be 5 in April.
Ah.
very disappointed she doesn't play.
Is she a rescue cat?
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe she never learned when she was a baby, never had the experience.
That could well be. Or she was always with other cats and they would play, but I mean, she's not buying the scritchy noise underneath the covers on the bed, and she's not enjoying the little feather on the end of the stick.
We had a rescue dog and she wouldn't play either. For the longest time, she didn't play until there was another dog around. And then she played with the other dog.
Oh,
It's like she had to learn. We tried to teach her, but she just didn't, it wasn't in her experience.
well, I'm hoping for the best. Next week, my daughter and grandsons are going to be in Sedona, vacationing and to visit their grandfather. And I'm taking care of their rather bumptious big dog. She's about the size of a golden retriever. So I think it's going to be an interesting week for all three of us, my cat, my dog.
I bet it will be.
I'll bet it will. It'll be kind of fun. And I'll be really glad when they come home again.
Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever use something other than book cloth for the outside of the box?
Not usually, because anything, well, you mean like Tyvek or something like that?
Well, could you back another paper with something fibrous,
Yes,
like a
absolutely.
Japanese paper?
Oh, you mean other than Chiogami? Okay.
Yes.
Sure. You could use fabric and back it with paper, as long as it isn't going to, wear out or crack when you
Okay.
open and close it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
You did a marvelous job with the colors. I love the way these colors go together.
Oh, I'm so glad. Good. It was so wonderful that you gave me options. And I tried to get as close as I could to the options.
You did real well as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Ladies, could you all do me a favor when you're finished with your boxes? If you would mind sending me a picture of your finished piece, or to either to Kathy or to myself. We usually put up Instagram posts about our workshops so that people can see what we've been making.
Oh, I would love to see them too. That's a great idea, Mara.
Can
Because-
we Photoshop out the flaws?
When you get to
Sure,
this point,
whatever you need to do.
when you get to this point, you can use whatever extra paper you want to, whatever you'd like to do. You could put things on the end. You could use those 4 little feet. You can mean whatever you like.
How did you do? Oh, show me the top of that box you have in your hand where oh, I see. Okay.
I probably got glue there or something, so that's why that's there.
Nancy, would someone like Erin be able to like quill part of the tab and still have it go through?
I don't know.
I was just gonna say, I could probably put something on there. That's a great idea, Mara. I'll give it a shot.
All right.
I mean, it's got some room in there.
Yeah, you do have some room to move. You probably have a good, oh yeah, you could probably, I'll do something.
That would be fun to see. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah.
Well, you could also maybe make the buckle a little bit bigger, or the hole in the center of it a little bit bigger. Because I've thought about trying to add something to the top too.
Yeah, because you could put beads on it tuld, I would think, as long as their profile isn't too high.
Right, or a button.
Yeah, a button would be cool.
Yeah. You could also quill around the buckle itself.
You could.
or on the sides of the box.
Yeah. Yeah, any place, really.
This is very cool. Thanks, Nancy.
Yeah.
I really like
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
All right, we ought to let everybody share unless you have to leave.
Would
Oh.
everybody like to hold theirs up?
Mara, that looks fabulous.
Oh, wow. How cool.
Ooh. What colors are yours, Maura? Is it black?
Black and white. I don't like color, so
No colors. I like that.
it's sides are, yep.
Nancy or Kathy, what color are yours?
Black and white.
Black.
But
We
then
have
I
a
put-
theme going on.
I put silver on the inside.
Ooh, pretty. Like it.
Kate, what colors did you have, Kate? Oh, how pretty.
Oh, I like it.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
So,
that's-
Kathy, you didn't have book. Did you
That's
use
pretty,
book
Carol.
cloth around the bottom of yours? Because I know you didn't have the package. So did you use book cloth or did you use
Yeah,
paper?
I had book cloth,
You had it.
Here.
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah. But the one I made, Kate, is much like yours from the last class I took. I did red and black and white.
Mm.
Cindy, would you hold yours up, please?
Who?
Oh, Cindy, that's pretty.
Cindy.
That's
Oh, yeah,
blue.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Carol, that's a beautiful combo of green.
Oh, I like Heather's. I like the blue.
Oh, Heather's is a deep
Mhm.
blue. Yeah. How cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, that is.
Oh, I like it
Yeah.
with the waves. I was gonna attempt
Yeah,
to use
that's
the
pretty.
waves, but
Sue,
Carol,
Mhm.
what color are yours?
how
Is
did
that
yours turn
green?
out, Sue?
Greens and yellows or?
Dark,
Mhm.
dark green.
Love
totally
it.
green.
Oh,
That's side paper. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Nice, Carol.
And,
Very-
I thank Nancy.
Sue, would you hold yours up? Because I missed it if you held yours up already. Sue Reynolds?
Oh, I didn't finish the top yet. I'm kind of fizzled out, but
Is
You
it
could-
sitting in the
um,
wraparound?
well, it's a little wonky. There's extra space.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
like
sure.
those are great papers, though.
They are nice papers, and it was really
Mhm.
nice to have a choice. I appreciated that a lot, Nancy.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Thank
Nancy,
you. It
where
was
did you
fun.
get the book cloth? I've not worked with book cloth a lot.
Well, they're all different kinds.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like a linen book cloth that is really wonderful. And then this kind of plasticky kind that
Okay.
I'm not wild about, but it really is very water resistant and things like that, which is all good.
Right.
Then
You
there,
can make your own book cloth.
Well, I saw that. I don't know if I have that much energy.
I also bought some in a variety of colors off of Amazon.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look.
They aren't giant pieces, but they work pretty well for some of the boxes.
and
Okay.
Hollanders has a really nice selection too.
And Nancy, I don't think you mentioned your resource page on your website, which has all kinds of wonderful resources. So for those people who aren't aware of it, definitely go to Nancy's website and look at her resources, and she'll have Hollanders and places for paper and all kinds of things.
Cool.
More tools than you want to own. And it's Liberty Grove Paper Arts is my .com is my website.
Say that again, please.
Liberty Grove. Liberty.
Oh, I
Grove
got it. Never
Paper
mind. Yep.
Arts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It was fun. I'm
Very
glad you
cool,
let
Linda.
people,
Yeah, very fun.
people
Totally.
outside of the Tucson area join in.
This
Thank
is
you.
really fun.
Well,
Yes, thank you very much.
Linda, how did that other paper work that you were working with, Linda Henderson?
I decided not to use it, so I
Oh.
just used the paper Nancy sent. So
And Aaron, yours is purple or blue or?
Mine's purple. It's dark green, kind of a forest green, and then it's got purple and golds that's
nice.
and white.
Pretty.
It's really
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah.
And Linda Valdez, we didn't see yours.
Oh, okay, so here's mine. Do you see it?
Yeah.
What colors are they? Tell us the colors.
And I used a different paper on the inside.
Nice.
Pretty,
Yeah,
pretty,
Oh.
pretty.
very nice.
Linda, you were going to use different paper. What were you going to use, Linda Henderson?
I was going to use this paper, which was, I don't know where I got this, but it's thick. It's pretty thick. And at first I thought it was wrapping paper, but it's not. It's too thick to be wrapping paper. but it's, it's obviously handmade paper because all the edges are deckled and, it's just pretty cool paper, but I just thought, let me learn how to make this box first and then I'll use that paper.
Linda with the
Don't
Y.
waste the good paper on it.
Hold up
Right.
your box. Hold up your box, would you please? Linda with the Y.
Me?
Mhm.
Oh, yes. There it is.
That's pretty.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty.
I don't want to
yeah.
open it because the lock part is really tight, so I want to make sure it's glued down. So,
Well,
but-
thank you so much for
Thank you.
We have this fun with
Thank
you.
you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us and presenting the workshop. And we hope those people that come to us outside of PaperWorks will consider another of our Zoom workshops. We're going to have them going on both in the summer and in the fall.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Great.
Fun.
Great.
It's a group worth joining.
Thank you
that's
so
for
much,
sure.
Nancy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks, Kathy. Thanks
Nice
for
to see everybody.